Welcome to my Parisian journey, part 5. I had planned at some point during this series to share with you many books that I have read on Paris, about France, fiction, nonfiction, travel books, all of those things. And I am going to do that. But today I'm only going to focus on 2 books. And because I want them to be like important to you. Like I want you to focus on the 2 books because you have to read them because they are so good and so entertaining. Especially whether you're interested in all things French or not, I think the books have some really good takeaways, some really good ideas. And I just love the tone. I just love the books so much. And I fell in love with the author, and let me tell you how. Every time I go to Paris and I'm in the apartment, it's late at night, I'm wide awake, right? Or no, I fall asleep fine, but then I'm wide awake because it's earlier or later, however it works with the time zone, I'm wide awake in the middle of the night. Okay, let's just say that. So I normally read, I always take a book with me that has something to do with Paris because then when you're reading it, you're just immersed. I mean, you are just immersed in not only the city, but you're reading about it. And then tomorrow you might walk past once I read one all about this bakery and this man that was a chef in this patisserie. I passed by it the next day. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I love to do. Well, this particular year, this last September, 2 months ago, I knew that this book was coming out because I had read her first book and I knew the second book was coming out. And oh my gosh, I discovered in the middle of the night on my iPad that she had a YouTube channel. I almost had a cow. I watched it every single night. I watched every video she's made in the past 2 years or year. I don't know how long she's been on, but I was obsessed because she was talking about all things French, the French way, French fashion, French everything, and I was just in love, and it was so much fun. And then as soon as I got home, the day after the book came out, I went to Barnes & Noble and bought it and paid full price because I had to have it, right? Hold on. I'm sorry, I had to have caffeine. I've done that a lot lately because I'm tired. I'm so busy. Okay. Her name is Jennifer L. Scott. The name of her website is the Daily Connoisseur, and I will link it below because that's hard to spell, Connoisseur. And she's just fantastic, and I want you to go to her website, subscribe. She deserves more subscribers than she has, and I also want to recommend highly, highly, highly her 2 books. I went to her website on the internet, jenniferlscott.com/books. Well, jenniferlscott.com. And I went to the book so that you could see both covers. I only have the second, well, let me show you this one. I only have the second one. I can't track down my first copy. This is the one that just came out, At Home with Madame Chic. The story behind the books are, when Jennifer was in, I believe it was college, she went and lived with a French family for a year, 9 months, something like that. And her first book, which I can't find, but it's called Lessons from Madame Chic. It looks like this. It's this. Okay, I'm backwards again, y'all. It's this book. Lessons from Madame Chic. Okay, that's the 2 books. Okay, but this is the first one, and then this is the second one. Okay, and the Lessons from Madame Chic says, stylish secrets learned while living in Paris. That is so true. That's what she goes over in that book. Stylish secrets. I don't have my glasses, y'all, and I'm afraid I'm reading it wrong. That would be terrible. Okay. Yes. Oh, 20 stylish secrets learned while living in Paris. The second one, At Home with Madame Chic, Becoming a Connoisseur of Daily Life. That's the name of this one. I highly recommend these books, y'all. They are just chock full of I don't know. It's just everything. I want my life to be like this. She talks about having less. She talks about, well, she has a capsule wardrobe. I'm sure some of you have seen that online where people only have like 10 or 20 items of clothing, period. She has a 10-item wardrobe, but then she has extras like t-shirts and things like that. She goes into that on her video. She goes into it in the book. She talks about cooking, music, all different things. And the thing is, everything she says, I've said myself. Everything she talks about, I discovered as well in Paris. This is the book I wish I could have written because I cannot agree with her more about all that she says, and then some, because she's got even more ideas from living there with a French family and seeing exactly how they live on a day-to-day basis. And that was really, her stories are just so great. So I want you to go buy both of her books, and I want you to go and look on her website, and I especially want you to go subscribe to her on the internet and the Daily Connoisseur, and here's the word, Connoisseur. That's how you spell it. I'm not a good speller, so anyway. Okay, so she talks about snacking and eating and the different ways of the French, and it all resonated with me so much. Let me tell you a story. We had a French girl come and stay with us. Okay, the first year I got back from Paris, we'd been there 10 days, I was a different person. I was completely changed forever. And I could not believe that I was back in my house in Florida. It was depressing. So I thought, how can I bring French things into my home? And I think I've told you that, or into my life. I immediately signed up for French lessons at the local college. I bought new towels. I started buying flowers. We started playing music. I started buying candles right then. Everything was different after that first year. But it still wasn't French enough for me in my house. So I went online to see if we could get a French foreign, this is before I found Jennifer's book, to see if we could find a French foreign exchange student or any kind of thing like that. Well, sure enough, in our area, there is it's not an exchange, it's just a program that's been going on for maybe 20 years of 10 to 30 French students coming to America, to Florida, for 3 weeks and staying in different people's homes. They spread them out all in different people's homes. And then periodically during that time, you meet up with all the other American families with their French kids. So the French kids can be together along with all the American kids of the families that they're with. Can you follow that? So I asked Scott and Lexi, would you mind, everybody else had moved out. I said, would you mind if we did this? Would y'all be open to that? So we signed up for a French girl. Now, my idea of that was that I was going to get an older girl that was from Paris and that would teach me to cook and teach me to speak French. I could practice my French with her and all this kind of stuff. Well, then I found out that these were high school students, and so I signed up for a girl that was my daughter's age, which was 14 at the time, or 13 at the time. Well, we were accepted into the program. They came and visited our home, and we filled out all the paperwork, and we were accepted. So here comes Clara. We never could figure out how she wanted us to say her name. It was just amazing. I mean, having her in our home was such a neat experience. But she was not from Paris. All the kids came from Marseille, southern France, right on the Mediterranean, right? But she was very French. We were led to believe that she had much more, that she could speak English, like really good English. That was not true. Although I think part of it was she was very, very shy. So she was very quiet. It drove me crazy. I mean, I thought I was going to lose it because I was so worried about her, right? But we had communicated with her parents before she came. I'd sent pictures of the house. I'd sent pictures of the room she would be sleeping in because I just wanted them to know, A, we were normal. She was going to be safe. We had a nice place for her and all that kind of stuff, right? And that didn't happen with every exchange, every student. That did not happen. It was, yeah. She got a good house, let me just say that. But so about the third day, I'm getting off track here, but let me go through it briefly, and then I'm going to do another video on that. But about the third day, she wasn't eating hardly a thing that we were fixing her. She would pick at her food, and I was just worried that she wasn't happy. But what was interesting is her and my daughter, who were like a year apart, would take the translation book and go upstairs, and you could hear them chatting and laughing their heads off. I don't know what they were talking about or how they could communicate, but it was working for them, right? But my husband's secretary at that time spoke 4 languages, and I believe French was her second language. So I took her to my husband's office, and we talked. They talked like 15 minutes, and the secretary said she's extremely happy. She's having a fantastic time. She said, you don't have a thing to worry about, but she would like to go to the grocery store and get some different food. So we took her to the store, and guess what she wanted? Brie and French bread. And that girl was a happy camper for the rest of the time. Now, because I had that experience and had her in our home, and I learned how she ate, all these different things that I'm going to do in another video that are so exciting, so interesting. A lot of that is in these books. A lot of that Jennifer shares from living with her French family in Paris. So I loved that about reading the book because I could just relate so well to so many things. So I'm going to tell you more about Clara in a different video and how Scott and I were invited to their home in Marseille the following year when we were in Paris. We took the train to Marseille, and that was an experience that we'll never forget. It was so awesome, so wonderful, so hilarious. I can't say enough about it. So that's going to be an upcoming video. So anyway, I just really wanted to do that. Today's just really quick. I've been at the beach all weekend. I wanted to recommend Jennifer's website, recommend Jennifer's books, and recommend Jennifer's YouTube channel most of all. So check her out. I hope you have a great week. I'll be back later in the week with more videos, and I'll be back next Sunday with my Parisian journey. Thanks. Bye.